Hey guys, did you miss me? I missed you. It's been a while. Longer than I had thought, actually. So much has happened. So much to catch you up on. Starting with an earthquake that we had. That's, for those of you who remember that, or who live fairly nearby or heard about it on the news, that's how long it's been since I've had a video on this channel. A couple weeks. But yeah, it was the weirdest earthquake I ever felt. It was less than an hour from here, the epicenter. So you would have thought that I would have had a little more of an experience. I had an experience, I just didn't feel it. But I don't feel a lot of earthquakes. I have this weird uncanny ability, apparently. But I was working out at the time, and so I was moving, but I heard it coming. It sounded like a jet that was getting ready to land on the house. And then there were two sonic booms. So it sounded like. And then I heard Emily scream. And I looked up at the ceiling fan in the bedroom, and it wasn't moving. So I went out to the living room where Emily was, and she screamed because half the stuff on our mantle fell on the floor. But I'm looking around, and we have pendant lights in the kitchen. They weren't moving. I looked out here at all the lanterns. None of them were moving. So it was crazy. And I had several other people. I called my parents who don't live far from here, and they had the same experience. They barely felt it, and it just was the noise. Anyway, that's that story. Another big thing that happened was something that people have been asking about, and when I was going to get Ollie and Otis sheared. Well, it was time, springtime. And so we did have the sheep shearer out, and he did the job. I filmed a little bit of it. I'll put it in right here. So they actually behaved pretty well. Unfortunately, I got some news from him that I was not expecting from the shearer. He said, you know, they're rams, right? Now, in my mind, rams are male sheep who have not been circumcised. Rams are male sheep that have not been castrated. And wethers are male sheep who have. So the way he asked it, I didn't know what he was trying to get at, right? Because clearly they had been banded when we got them, and a couple weeks later they fell off. So in my opinion, they weren't rams anymore, they were wethers. So I said, what do you mean? He said, well, they weren't castrated correctly. And just for those of you who want to understand what I'm saying, the testicles are still up inside. So when they squeezed them to put the band around them, instead of staying down below, they went up inside. So all that fell off was the scrotum. So both of them still have both testicles inside of them. And he warned me that within about 6 months, they will be reproductively mature and they could start causing some problems and being dangerous. So at first I thought, okay, well, great. We're going to have to get rid of them, and I don't want to get rid of them. So I contacted the breeders who we got them from. I asked her, I told her the situation, and she said, I'm happy to take them back, but she has rams together and they don't cause a problem. My concern was the new calf. And anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole conversation. So the way we're leaving it now is, so far, they're fine. They headbutt each other every once in a while. I don't see too much more than that. So we're going to just watch them. In the beginning, when the calf is born, we will keep them separated. We'll keep all the Leonotis in the pasture and Daisy and the calf in the corral for a while, and then we'll just kind of watch and see what happens, knowing in the back of our mind that we can return them if needed. That brings me to the subject of Daisy. She officially, as of right now, she's due the second week in May, and we're almost in May. However, her breeder said because it's her first calf, or will be her first calf, it's very likely it could happen a week early, which puts us at this coming week. So that's what we were geared up. That's what we were prepared for. And then a couple of days ago, I heard from Daisy's breeder that one of her cows, who's also going to be a first-time mom, she was due the day before Daisy, and she had had her baby the night before, 2 weeks early. So we started watching Daisy closely. Yesterday, though, and I don't know if it's more because I'm more hyper aware of what's going on now that the breeder talked to us about this, I'm seeing signs that it could be very soon. There she is. Daisy. Hi, baby. Let's see if she'll let me come out there near her. And I can show you what I'm talking about. First of all, she's very agitated. When she's in the corral, she's kind of standing up and then laying down, and she just doesn't look comfortable. All you women who have had a baby and come to this term probably know how she's feeling. First of all, the udder is filling up. The teats are elongating. Her tail, she's got hip bones now. Usually those aren't showing. And she's sunken in really deep on both sides of her tail. And there's just nothing there. Sorry. She's loosening up back here. And she keeps turning around and trying to lick herself back there, which wasn't on the list of things, but I feel like that's got to be a sign, right? Whoa, a blue butterfly? Well, if that wasn't ADHD, I don't know what was. So anyway, I am thinking it's going to be sooner rather than later. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Hey, Bella. Hey, good girl. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. When she stands up, she's almost as tall as me. You're a big girl. You're a big girl. Here's all you notice is wool. I don't know, it's just sitting here because I don't know what to do with it. I think I'm going to compost it. I mean, we have no use for it. Emily's not going to sit around with a spinning wheel and make yarn. And even if we sold it, we wouldn't get much for it. It's not washed. It's not clean. It's not worth it. So it does make good compost, I've heard. So that's what we're probably going to do with it. Where are the sheep anyway? Oh, they're way over there. So what else have we done? Oh, I finished the stakes and the lines for the vineyard and got all the weeds down over there. So it's looking much better. So all the stakes were in before, but now all of the lines are up and all of the grapes are growing well. So I can officially vouch for Food Forest Nursery. Every single thing that I got from them and that was quite a lot. All the grapes, and then I'll go show you the other trees they sent me. They all came out of dormancy just fine and are growing well. I've potted the other trees because I'm not yet ready to plant them. So we'll let them grow in the pots for a month or two. I mean, some I'll be planting this week, the fig trees. So we've got red buds, almond trees, elderberry. Here are the fig trees. It's an ugly background. Anyway, they all look great. So I'll leave a link in the description to Food Forest Nursery in case you guys need trees. And I have a discount code as well that I'll put down there. I was working yesterday out here, didn't quite finish weeding all of this area, weeding all of the tropical bed here that I put in last year. Lots of the taros up and ginger. I actually got some more taro bulbs at Costco and planted them all along here to fill in there. Oh, and I trimmed the banana walk and divided the trees that needed dividing. Got a nice layer of mulch here on this side. I still got to do over here, but I filmed that video for yesterday's next level gardening video on how to take care of bananas. Now, I don't know if you guys remember how this looked just 9 months ago. This is how it looked 9 months ago. I'm gonna try to stand in the exact same spot. And this is what it looks like now. Look at the bluebird. So what I think I'm gonna do, well, I know I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put mulch just like this. Finish this side here, and then all this side here. And then I need to finish leveling the path down there, and then I'll probably put weed cloth down for the path and put wood chips on it. So that will make this area a little more civilized. For a jungle, at least. Monsteras are doing amazing. Looks like this needs a little bit of iron or something. I have one fruit on here that is just about ready. Look at that, how big this is. It should start to flake. These scales should start to separate and come off, and then I can chop this and take it in the house. And it's a weird fruit. It ripens an inch a day. And if you eat the non-ripe portion, it will feel like fiberglass going down your throat because of so many oxalates. But when it ripens, those disappear, and it's totally fine to eat. In fact, it's delicious. All right, this is kind of turning into a garden tour, but look at this cottage garden. Look at that. I mean, this is springtime, right? Look at that. The roses are doing great. Look at these roses. Look how many buds are on there. This one over here is gorgeous. These are all David Austin roses. The shape of the plant, the health and glossiness of the leaves, the petals, everything about them, I love. And then we've got all of the sweet peas that came up volunteer, and I put these teepees here to hold them up. You can, no matter where you walk, you can smell them. They're so fragrant. My clematis, it's not climbing too much, but it sure is putting on a lot of flowers. This rose here is covered in buds. It is true what they say about roses. The third year is the year that they finally start really doing well. The climbing roses on the chicken run, they need to be trimmed, but they're covered in bloom as well. I could not be more pleased with how this has turned out. I mean, it's exactly what I envisioned in my head 3 years ago. Bill has been here since you last were, and he worked even more out here in the front, flattening it out way over there. You can see the wall here, all he dug off. That was just a nice easy slant down. This stump was completely under the ground. So he still has to work this down that way and remove all of this. We also took down some trees a week and a half ago. They're laying down here, drying out, and then I'll get rid of them. That dirt that Bill had extra up there that he was pulling out of there, we built a berm up here. That both builds this area out with more usable space, but also it keeps all of the water that comes down here in a heavy rainstorm from flooding our neighbor's house. And we'll probably put a drain in the end and run it out to the street, or maybe someday into like a big cistern where we could save that water. The rest of the dirt Bill brought over here to build this path out at the bottom of the vineyard. Oh, here's one of the trees we cut down. It was a big stand of eucalyptus trees. They were right here in this area, filling that in, shading the vegetable garden in the afternoon, and shading at least 4 to 5 grapevines, entirely too much for them to do well. So we got rid of that. And then right over here, there was a big eucalyptus tree out this way. We got rid of that. And I know the first thing you're gonna say with all this dirt we've been adding in here is, what are you gonna do to keep it from eroding down the hill? I'm glad you asked. I'm gonna put in a sprinkler system here, and we're going to plant a ground cover, probably micro clover. Micro clover has really deep roots. It creates a nice carpet on top, and it holds soil together that is prone to erosion. So I had originally bought the micro clover seeds to be the lawn in front of the cottage garden, changed my mind on that. So now I've got it for down here. And then on that slope, we're also every 10 feet going to be putting a fig tree espalier to make a nice green fig hedge here. I have 3 new fig trees from Food Forest Nursery. And then we've got the 4th one here. This fig tree is coming out. See, it looks good. This one over here that was the espalier, look at all the fruit on it. I meant to move this before it came out of dormancy, and then it just all of a sudden sprung to life, shot all these figs onto it. I'm still moving it though. It's gonna go down on that fence line. But this is 10 feet wide, the bottom tier of the espalier. Emily actually came out here the other day, and she worked cleaning all the weeds out of this path. I don't even know if I have a before picture, but it was at least 50% green. A couple videos back, I told you guys about my plan to rid myself of bindweed. You can see I've let it grow here to get some leaves and some growth on it. It's taking over the entire bed. It's taking over the path. It's moving into this bed. It's all down there in the path and these 2 beds. Unfortunately, I found out that the only herbicide that's going to work is Roundup. Now, the worst part about that is I just hate supporting that company. But I've already told you, I'm not going to judge you if you come to the conclusion that that's the only way to do it. Like I said, I've been gardening for I don't even know how many years, and it's been 15, 20 years since I ever even used a herbicide before. So what I'm going to do is actually just pour a little Roundup in a jar, use a paintbrush, paint some of the leaves on each one rather than spraying it all over the place. And hopefully that will take care of it with as minimal toxins going onto and into the ground as possible. But look, if you have to use something like that, I don't like it, but at least I know where and how I've used it, and I'm not buying, and it's still better than whatever you could buy at the store. These strawberries. Oh, I think this one's ready for me. Warm from the sun is the only way to eat a strawberry. Red all the way through. Also the only other way to eat a strawberry. Today, I think I'm going to finish weeding out here. Take a look at the before, just so you can feel hopefully as satisfied as I feel when it's done. I have my dragon fruit ready to put in these beds. I just need one planting ingredient, and then I'm gonna be doing a video on it, so that's probably within the next week or so too. Oh, the biggest thing of all. I've been telling you about how I wanted those tababuya trees. I think that's how you pronounce them. Tababuya rosea. It's the beautiful pink trees. I think it's one of the most, if not the most beautiful tree in the world. And I will tell you that the one in front of Noah's school has been blooming for 6 weeks. A mess. The whole tree is pink for 6 weeks. So I went to the nursery and I got 2. And I told you before that I was going to be removing the pear trees up here and replacing them. Well, I decided against that to save work and because I don't think I need to. So here's the first one right here. I'm going to put it where the cherry tree was that died. I don't think it was a soil issue. I think it was a tree issue. The other one I have way up there. See it right here? Okay, this needs weeding, so don't look at this. This is just awful. Look at this. Don't look at it, but look at it. This isn't all weeds. I also let the blackberries escape, so they're all in here. But I'm okay with that because I'm actually going to be taking these blackberries when they go dormant this year and moving them down by the orchard, because this is where I'm going to plant the other tababuya. So that's going to create kind of a shade garden up here to the right of the cottage. But what that's going to do from this angle, here's the tababuya right there. It's going to grow over the driveway and a little bit this way as well. So it's kind of going to block, it's never going to block that palm tree totally. I wish it would, but it's not. But it might take your mind off of seeing that. And just because this hill back here, it looks great at this time of year, but in the summer, most of the year, it's completely brown. So that'll kind of cover that up. We're also going to put a tree over here on this side of the driveway that hangs over this way. So it's kind of going to come under trees when you come through the gate, and it's going to block off that background. And on this side, that tree there is going to cover up the neighbor's garage. So then this will just be its own little peaceful setting without any distractions from the outside world. Oh, I did this too. We went to Walmart and they had these on sale. Because I can't put real plants up in this planter because I don't want the dirt and stuff getting on the thatch, we found a really good price on the greenery and the daisies. And from down here, they look totally real. And then this planter and this planter here, I'm going to try to match the same thing with some white daisies and some greenery so that they kind of match all summer long and you don't really notice that one's fake and 2 aren't. Oops, it's the next day. You know, sometimes you get to work and you totally forget that your job is to film what you're doing. That's what happened yesterday. But take a look. I showed you the before picture. I'll do it again for what I was going to weed out here. No weeds, no piles of weeds. Everything looks totally clean. So this flower bed here, for a few years, well, 2 years really great. Last year they were kind of petering out. We had New Guinea impatiens in here, or sun patiens, with some red cannas along the back. The New Guinea impatiens, they're like still here, but not well. And so I'm going to rip them out. I'm actually ripping almost everything out of here. The cannas, they never got enough sun and they just kind of looked good for the first month or 2 and then they just started dying and getting eaten. This bed is going to have, in the back, it's going to have the tea plants, the cordyline that I brought home from Hawaii last July, and I've been growing in starting in little pots. And then probably in front of that, I'm going to still grow some agapanthus. My friend Josh next door gave me a lot of bulbs that he dug up out of his yard for agapanthus. And then here where we had all the white ginger, and I took that out. There's still one here that snuck up on me. I'm going to have to move it, but I think just agapanthus here. I'm gonna take these out and put them probably somewhere over with the bananas. I think that's the plan for now anyway. And then just fill this up with agapanthus, because having the sitting area on the deck, these are getting too tall. They're blocking the view out here, which isn't a whole bunch right now, but it will be. And so getting rid of these and then having the agapanthus, which will basically cover the deck portion, and then the bloom spikes will get up to here, but that's only once a year, and you can see through those pretty easily. Let's go down and check on Daisy one last time before this video's over. I'm thinking by the next video, you guys, she's gonna have her baby. I mean, there's a really good chance of that because we'll be getting close to her actual due date. Morning, everybody. Hi, boys. Oh, no, you don't. That was the first time he's butted me. I mean, it wasn't hard. No. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. That's like showing aggression, huh? How are you this morning? How are you this morning? How are you this morning? Don't be jealous. I'll be to you in a second. All right, all right. Do you want to go out too? All right, I'm gonna let her out too. I don't know if I'm more excited about the calf coming, or I was more excited when I got Daisy for the very first time. I don't know. I don't know which one made me more excited. Which one's making you more excited? Let me know in the comments. All right, so I think you are completely and totally caught up now. I'm completely and totally caught up for next level gardening, and so I think we shouldn't have any more breaks. So next week we'll be starting with just all new content. See you then.